The setting takes place in Boruto Part 1, with two brothers standing on the face of their father, the great Hokage Naruto. I can't believe you went this far, Kawaki. A statement made by Boruto that has plagued this fandom for a long time. This mere statement caused so much speculation regarding to why the village is actually destroyed, why are they fighting, what happened to Naruto, and who or what caused the end of the shinobi. What made Kawaki fall to the darkness? It's two-side anime here, and today we're going to explore a theory of mine on how and why Kawaki is slowly going to fall to the darkness, and who he's going to team up with to destroy the age of the shinobi. Some aspects of this video I've already covered in two videos. One, the Damon Godtree video, and two, the meaning of fate in the Boruto series. So please check those two videos out, leave a like and comment, and let me know what you think. But you know it's theory time, and I'm about to talk a bunch of nonsense that sounds good, but you know the motto by now, just let me cook. Kawaki was officially introduced to us in chapter 24 of Boruto Part 1, and from chapter 24 all the way to chapter 55, we learned a lot about the character of Kawaki. Kawaki was placed by the evil scientist Amando in the location where the Leaf Village would find him. Kawaki was taken back to the Leaf Village where he was introduced to Naruto. Naruto became something like a superhero, role model, and father figure to the young boy Kawaki. When we were introduced to Kawaki, he was a cold, callous character. I know you guys remember that chapter where he almost killed that little kid, but symbolized through Himawari's vase, he picked up the pieces and rebuilt himself and learned and inherited the will of the shinobi from Naruto. Naruto became his master. As the story progressed, we learned more about Kawaki's abusive past. He wasn't born from a silver spoon, and he was born in poverty, working to provide for his father's habit. His father sold him to Jigen, aka Ishiki Utsusuki, and the abuse continued. Amando experimented on Kawaki. Jigen placed his karma on Kawaki, deeming him his one and only vessel, and tormented the young child for the rest of his life. From that point on moving forward, Ishiki was finally defeated at the hands of Kawaki using a shadow clone jutsu that he learned from Naruto, the famous shadow clone jutsu. With the death of Ishiki, the fandom thought Kawaki would find peace with his new adopted family, the Uzumakis, but unfortunately, a lingering threat named Code threatened Naruto's safety. This caused Kawaki to feel desperate and fall down the rabbit hole of darkness and despair because he couldn't protect the one person that finally shined some light in his life, and he wanted to hold on to everything that Naruto gave him. The issue was, just like Himawari's vase, everything Naruto was slowly pouring into Kawaki was falling out because there was a hole in the vase. You remember the piece that Kawaki couldn't find. This led Kawaki to slowly reject the shinobi way that he was once open to learning, because he slowly realized that Jigen was right. You need power to manifest your dreams and protect the ones that you love. And without karma, Kawaki was powerless. The karma seal gives the user multiple speed, power, strength, and combat ability amps that can put an ordinary person above Kage level easy. So missing karma, Kawaki felt hopeless and powerless. You can think of Kawaki like this. Think about that one athletic friend that you had that played sports, that really hated the sport that they played, but because they had a parent in the background that wanted to live through them because their career failed, one day that person gets hurt and he no longer can play that sport. Even though in the past he hated that sport, now that he's no longer can play, he's going to feel a void. That's the same void Kawaki was feeling. Which takes us back to Part 1 Boruto, chapter 39, page 35. If you guys remember, before the new Team 7 went off to battle Boro and rescue Naruto, Kawaki said this: "I'm finally starting to understand why Jigen chose me. I didn't want to admit it, but in the end, I'm like him. It's the whole being of the same wavelength thing." To bring what I'm saying in full circle, Kawaki losing karma made him feel powerless. That void was in his heart that Jigen drilled into him can only be filled with karma started to become his reality when he realized he couldn't protect Naruto the way he wanted to. So he slowly slipped back to the same wavelength of thinking of Jigen. But enough of the Kawaki soapbox. At the end of the Code arc, Kawaki regained his karma seal, and with that power he defeated Code and killed Boruto. When Boruto accepted that death was the only answer to getting rid of Momoshiki, Kawaki continued to spiral out of control. A mentally unstable person with absolute power is a bad combination, and once he felt Momoshiki's presence when he was on the mission with Boruto to lounge around around with Ida and Damon, Kawaki went to the extreme to sealing Naruto and Hinata, attempting to kill Sadara and attempting to kill Boruto, leading him to become an enemy of the Leaf. But luckily, Ida was able to tap into her ability Omnipotence and switch roles with Kawaki and Boruto. Kawaki now being Naruto's rightful son and Boruto being the outcast that killed Lord Seven. Some will argue that Kawaki's fall to darkness happened once he sealed Naruto and Hinata, but I disagree. I feel like Kawaki, as unstable as he is, this is probably the most stable and sober-minded we will see Kawaki as we venture into the time skip. 3 years later, we see that Kawaki built his life around a lie that he is the rightful son of Naruto and he's protecting the village to kill Otsutsuki, and he will also kill himself at the end, showing you the high disregard Kawaki has for his life. Because Sadara and Sumire weren't affected by Ida's omnipotence, Kawaki is now standing on a glass house that can shatter at any moment, and that was displayed in the most recent chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. We see Kawaki lying to Shikamaru saying Boruto came to the village to work with Code, but in comes Sadara Goat and she literally tells Shikamaru that Kawaki is lying. At that moment, we see Kawaki break character and approach Sadara in a hostile manner. Sadara suggested that Shikamaru should reach out to Ida to confirm if Boruto was working with Code or fighting against Code to protect the greater good. This is step 1 into Kawaki falling deeper into the dark hole that he has in his heart. As his lies continue to crumble in the series, he will soon lose control, and once he loses control, he will start acting irrational. Kawaki reverting back to his old self is going to cause suspicion within the village if he's really Naruto's son. This will cause him to lose his allies. Once Kawaki loses his allies, he's going to need help defeating Code and killing Boruto and defending Earth against the rest of the Otsutsuki. So guess who he's going to team up with? I know it sounds crazy. Kawaki's going to team up with the God Tree clones. This sounds like a reach, but let me cook. For now, we can say that Jigen looking God Tree clone is the leader of their group. So to understand my theory, we're going to have to dive into this scientific phenomenon that takes place in the real world. People in the real world that receive transplants sometimes inherits their donors' memories through their genetic makeup. I have a prime example, and it's a really cool story of a 6-year-old who received the heart from a 10-year-old girl. This 10-year-old girl was murdered and they couldn't find out who killed her. But after the 6-year-old was given the heart, a couple weeks later, she started to have vivid dreams of that exact same murder, detail of everything that took place, even down to the person who killed the 10-year-old. The girl reported this to her parents took it to the police. The 6-year-old's dreams were so vivid that they were able to put together evidence to find the person who killed the 10-year-old, and they locked him up. I have another example that took place in the Boruto Part 1 series, but I'm gonna hold off on that and explain to you what I'm talking about with the example that I just gave. The newly awakened God Tree clones are using somebody else's body to take form, using their genetics and their chakra. This will lead for the newly awakened God Tree clones to inherit the memories of the people that they're using to take form, meaning Sasuke's memories will eventually transplant themselves into this God Tree clone, confusing the clone. The same thing with the Jigen clone. With Jigen's genetics being used in this God Tree clone, he's going to eventually inherit the memories of Jigen's obsession with Kawaki, and eventually this is going to confuse this newly awakened God Tree clone and lead that clone into trying to figure out why Kawaki is so important. Maybe Kawaki is more than just 10-tail food. This will give Kawaki an opportunity to form a brief alliance with the new awakened God Tree clones. But there's a catch. Because they share the same goal of eating Otsutsuki, you have to remember the 10-tailed species that Jigen had were slaves to the Otsutsuki clan and were used in their process to harvest chakra, offered them the rest of the Otsutsuki clan. So you may be asking the question of how Kawaki will figure out where the Otsutsuki clan is. More scout Otsutsuki will show up in the time skip. The reason being, Kaguya is still missing, Momoshiki is now missing, Kenshiki is missing, and their scout Urashiki is also missing. This is going to cause the clan to send more scouts to figure out what's going on in Kaguya's sector. With new scouts coming, one of the scouts is going to escape the wrath of Kawaki and the God Tree clones and report back to the main branch, something Urashiki didn't do. This is going to cause an intergalactic war with the Otsutsuki clan versus Earth, making this a perfect opportunity for Kawaki. Brief summary of my theory: Jigen's genetics is going to awaken memories within the Jigen God Tree clone, which is going to cause the God Tree clone to think Kawaki is important. Kawaki is going to strike a deal with the God Tree clones when the Otsutsuki scouts come to Earth, and he shows them that there's more Otsutsuki out there that they can eat. After that, they will team up to go against Boruto, Kashin Koji, and Code. In this battle, eventually Kawaki is going to lose his mind because his lives are all crumbling in front of him, and he's going to end up assuming the role as Jigen, like he stated not too long ago in Boruto Part 1, and end up destroying the village with the God Tree clones, taking us back to episode 1 of the Boruto series. And if you still think I'm reaching with the Jigen thing, the missing piece to this puzzle is Kashin Koji. Throughout Part 1, Kashin Koji constantly stated that he felt a connection to the Leaf Village, and being a shinobi, he kept getting memories that was influencing his actions as a clone. Kashin Koji's only connection to the Leaf Village was the genetic code of Jiraiya that was used to clone him. So he was being influenced by Jiraiya from the grave to make him think that he had some type of connection to the Leaf Village. So the God Tree clones that are using live specimen to drain them of their chakra and their genetic code will eventually suffer from the same thing. The Boruto series has always been about clones, genetics, and predestined fate. The GOAT Ishiki said, all genes have predestined fate. But that's my theory, just another quick video. Pull up in the comments, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. I'm out.